Do you mean like make a phone call? More as in, what are we called to do, Rusty? Oh, I think they started recording. Oh, hey, welcome to Vox Terra with your host, me, Matt LaCrow, helping people refocus the political will from anger over divisive hot button social issues to focus on our common interest, the health and long-term survival of our species. Today's show, Religion, Climate Change and Pollution with Preacher Levi. How my phone call to Christian radio went. Jobs in the Environment with Benny. And finally, listener feedback with me, Rusty. First up, Religion, Climate Change and Pollution with Levi. What's the good word today, Preacher Levi? From Scripture, the temptation of Christ in the desert. When Jesus went into the desert, there he was tempted by the devil, who offered him power, riches, and kingdoms in this world. Today, the fossil fuel, petrochemical, and associated industries are among the most powerful, richest on this planet. Their power, and that of the reckless elements of the business community, permeate the media. Because of this, the people, and many of my fellow religious, do not understand how dire the situation with our environment truly is. The deceiver has deceived. So are all the religious folk woke up then, preacher? It's a mixed bag, Rusty. National Council of Churches lamented Trump pulling out of the Paris Agreement, a decision worse or on par with deciding to invade Iraq. Speaking of Iraq, Rusty, Pope John Paul urged Bush Jr. not to invade. Pope Francis wrote an encyclical warning us to act now on climate change. Why, do you think Clinton would have pulled out of Paris and lowered auto fuel efficiency standards like Trump's doing? Would Gore have invaded Iraq? Rusty, we dump billions of tons of heat-trapping gases into our atmosphere every year. We are living with the results: wildfires, floods, supercharged hurricanes, and the spread of disease-bearing ticks and mosquitoes to new areas. The same fossil fuel petrochemical industries, along with the greenhouse gases they're dumping, are generating tons of toxic chemicals. We are surrounded by waste sites. They affect not just those out of the womb, but the unborn as well. What you can't see really can hurt. Carcinogens, neurotoxins, agents causing infertility. Oh my. And disrupting the endocrine system. Endocrine? Endocrine disruptors, a byproduct of plastics manufacture, affect the very sex characteristics of living things. Sex characteristics? There are horrific negative feedback loops looming on the horizon. The horizon? Those melting ice caps are not merely sea level rise. Well, that sounds pretty bad alone. The polar ice reflects heat off our planet. They help cool the oceans, create both Gulf and jet stream. They have served to moderate the Earth's temperature throughout the history of mankind. So are they all preaching like Levi on Christian radio? Not enough, Rusty. Can you do anything to speed things up, Matt? I called into Catholic radio. How did it go? I borrowed from Levi's sermon. What did they say? The male host said, Genesis tells us to be good stewards of this earth. People of faith are called to spread the word. So, you got through to him then? I don't think he was convinced to put voting the environment on his top issue list. Not yet, anyway. What about the female host? She took my citing the temptation of Christ to heart and really seemed to struggle with it. She said, It's all about the money. You've got to follow the money. But we try to talk about the environment. I'm all organic. But people get angry. They say protecting the environment will cost jobs. Oh, I wonder what Levi Benny would have to say to that. Let's find out. It ain't jobs versus the environment. It's what type of job. Work on an organic farm or work in a pesticide manufacturing facility. Scripture says, "Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake." Hey, Rusty, did anybody comment on episode 2, the voter edition? Yes, we got some feedback. Andy thanked me for responding. A real gentleman, that Andy. And he asks why we think Hurricane Michael got so little coverage compared to Hurricane Florence. Let me see what Benny thinks. Sure, I'd be happy, Rusty. Well, I'm not sure on the particulars, but since the media ain't talking about the simple connections between climate change and the rapidly changing weather and extreme weather, we need to get straight in our heads so we can talk about it. I like looking at the Union of Concerned Scientists for that, but the planet is overall hotter, hotter air holds more moisture, and the ocean gives up more. The higher sea level means bigger storm surges at the coast. The warmer pole means the jet stream doesn't look like it used to. Now, I know that didn't exactly answer your question, Andy, but, hey, it's Benny here. Ruby says, "You are so smart." Why, thanks, Ruby. Or maybe you meant me, or did you mean Matt, or Benny, or not sure really, but thanks, Ruby. It was nice of you. We got another post from Mr. Chirpelli. He says he hopes he wasn't too despondent. Benny, what do you think about that one? It's rough out there, Mr. Chirpelli. Simple, repeated messaging from multiple sources over time. That's what moves people. So far, we got me, we got my nephew Matt, Grandpa Rusty, and now Preacher Levi. Jeanette said, "Please keep sharing common sense on our common public need for a safe and inhabitable home planet, along with who is helping and who is not. She says we must simply hashtag vote Democrat this hashtag election 2018 in higher numbers than Republicans in order to hashtag act on climate rapidly because they," and this is Jeanette's words, "and their current fossil fuel masters are obstructing our transition to the clean energy economy we desperately need." Rusty, Jeanette makes some great points. As we covered in our last show, not many Green Republicans out there right now. As we showed in episode 2, Dems overall have a much more solid environmental voting record. But, other than a few, they are not campaigning on that record, missing out on what could really pull people together. I find her use of the phrase home planet intriguing. This show is about getting people to make our long-term survival the priority. Well, let us know what you think. How did you compare this show to others? Too many people on it? Or too many people on it? Or did you like it with the extra excitement? How about any topics you'd like addressed? Any comments on the content? Post, like, and follow. And please do follow so you can keep up. Until then, peace be with you.